Sure, my name is Xavier Brown from Washington, D.C. Typical week for me, wake up at 5:30, get ready for work, breakfast, go to my job, hit the gym, boom, do my job stuff, some other stuff in between, get off, and I'm either going to a different community garden, or I'm doing some homework, or, so my days are like long. I'll go to a meeting after work. So it's always every day is different, but it always starts at like around 5:30 in the morning. So right now we're at Project Eden. This is in Southeast. It's part of a church. Eden breaks down to everyone deserves to eat naturally, like from the Bible. So this is one. There's another one where I help out, or I help to manage over in Northeast, 53rd and Dick Street Northeast over in Clay Terrace. That's an emerging garden. There's another one that's going to that's actually happening right now in Benning Terrace in Southeast. And then we have another one, this every Wednesday I'm over there, this Woodland Terrace in Southeast. And so last year, we constructed a raised bed that spelled out the word love. And we're planting in there. And so some of these vegetables that you see right here, some of those will go over there. Probably some of the sage and the strawberry will definitely go over there. Communities that have so much going on. And I thought that a good way to engage the youth, engage the families, and something that's universal, and I think will forever be universal, is the idea of food, and just connecting people back to the land and using it as a platform. It's like a healthy outlet for kids. In a lot of neighborhoods, kids don't have things to do, like safe things to do. So like as an outlet for the kids. My father, like 5 years ago, told me to take this DC Master Gardening class. And I got into it because when I was in the class, there wasn't really that many black people into it, and so kind of piqued my interest, and I was like, damn, I want to learn more about it. Then I started meeting people like Zachary and Gail. I started to meet other black farmers, other people up and down the East Coast, and I was like, man, and the plants and stuff just started talking to me, I felt connected to the plants. So it found me, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't find it. Community gardening is a good tool to organize people in different communities, right? And a lot of the community gardens have become central community hubs, man, where people can gather, people can discuss all different types of things. So we can't, also talk about health and wellness, but we can talk about like gentrification, we can talk about jobs. It's just a tool to pull people together, and also connecting people just back to the land and to the environment. I think there's healing factors on so many different emotional levels, spiritual levels, physical levels. So like the main things that I've started to do in a lot of community gardens where I work, urban ag in general, is to incorporate the 7 principles of Kwanzaa and intertwine them with the garden as a way to build community, build support around the garden, and to kind of bring a different approach to the garden. So make it centered around the people in the community that interact with the garden space, to bring people together. So I think principles of Kwanzaa are African American. Kwanzaa is an African American holiday, but the principles are universal principles that anybody can utilize, right? And so I'm really trying to like push that forward and apply these principles every day. Do some good things, some holistic stuff from a different approach. Using food as the medium. This past Wednesday, we were out there in Woodland, and there was so many youth that just like in most of those neighborhoods, you don't even really have to promote that much. You know what I'm saying? People see you out there, the youth see you out there, they'll come, how can I help? What can I do? I want to do this, because I feel like the wants is there. You know what I'm saying? It has to be people out there that's supplying what they need. But people want to do good stuff. They want to do positive stuff, And another thing that we're just trying to do is just put a positive light on these communities too, because whenever you hear it in the news, if you're coming from somewhere else and you Google it, all you'll hear is such and such happened, this happened, or that happened. But you don't know, it's real people here, living here, grandmothers, fathers, that are doing good stuff. 99.9% of people are doing great stuff. So response is always good. The way we do it, and it kind of goes back to the principles of Kwanzaa, is our stuff is centered with the community first, So if it's something that like the community's not interested in, we don't do it. So it's all based on the people. And so I think it's kind of like the opposite of gentrification, right? Because gentrification isn't community-centered at all, you know what I'm saying? Ours is like community-centered, and how can the people have a say in what they see in the community, right? And so now, like, once you construct a garden, they're like, well, hey, maybe we can do something with this space over here. How can we turn this space over here into a community space? How can we do this over here? So I consider like what I do is like the opposite of gentrification. People need to get organized, I think, and more aware and more conscious of just like their own individual power. I think in a lot of communities, people kind of been beat down so much that they've start to forget that they have power, right? As you go to other more affluent neighborhoods, like they're on their council. If something they don't like something, they're on their councilman or pressing them out. They'll call, they'll email you to death until like you get what they want. And so I think we need to get more organized and really, hold people accountable and also figure out ways to kind of course you have to wait for DC government, but do for self as well. You gotta, if we wait for DC government, I think it's going to be a long wait because just the government works slow naturally. It's not designed to be something that moves fast. It moves slow, and so we have to figure out a way like, how can we have our own self-determination, which is one of the principles of Kwanzaa. How can we define like what we want to see, and how can we put this stuff into action? So I think that's important too. If you sit around and wait, man, would have been gotten moved out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna wait for the government, so we have to figure out like our own ways to do our own stuff. Donate supplies, donate your time, donate your energy. Like stuff that you're doing is always like, of course, like pictures and like you gotta get the word out today. Who knows? I don't know who you know in your network, but you know people in your network, right? And he knows people in his network, and so that just like shares it. So like you can just tell one person, that one person is gonna tell another person. So just like sharing it, coming out and volunteering, bringing your creativity. Man, in 5 years, communities I work in, they would still be around. Shoot, I think that was one. Hopefully they would still exist in 5 years. But also they would be on par with a lot of the other areas in the city as far as like amenities and opportunities. There would be I would say those two things right there. I think if there was more opportunities and amenities, a lot of other things would change. You know what I'm saying?